Alrighty. We are back. Oh man. After a nap. Oh man. After like a 7 hour stream, and now we're back to a quick developer live stream. Let's actually hop over there to lunch right now. Let's hop over there and see what's going on. I don't know if we can hear it. Actually, hold on. I think I know I can do this. Testing. 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 Let me know if you guys can hear echo. Oh man. Okay, let me turn it down a bit. Alrighty. It's going to be starting in the next minute. So, hopefully, we get some good news. But definitely let me know if okay, there we go. There we go.
So Kepler's a place touched by the Nine, concealing a lot of secrets and danger. And it's somewhere that human scientists traveled to a long time ago to research a dormant singularity. While living on Kepler, not only did they observe the collapse, they survived it. Over time, the ideals of the scientific process they held to were enshrined in their culture, and they came to be known as the Ionians. The Elixni House of Exile arrived during the Dark Age, weary from the Long Drift. They didn't invade Earth with the other Elixni houses. Instead, they sought a new home, which they found alongside the Ionians. But the dark matter that permeates Kepler and that they converted into the ether they need to survive ended up being toxic.
It's gonna be
So
crazy.
when the Ionians failed to cure them, the house rose up under an archon, claiming to be blessed with prophetic sight. Now, the House of Exile is full of zealots, and they'll stand opposed to the Guardian as they walk the winding pathways of Kepler, learning more about what called them there in the first place. Guardian's paracausal power acts as a catalyst for the normally corrosive force of dark matter. These new powers will allow them to unlock long sealed passageways for the Ionians as they make their way to the singularity at the core of the planetoid.
So from the start, we focused on building Kepler as more of a dungeon-like destination. It expands on the interconnected world design of places like the Leviathan or the Shattered Throne.
As you fight your way across Kepler, you tap into dark matter abilities and unlock enemy tech that expands your navigation and aids you in combat. These are all about going places you would normally think are out of reach.
Matterspark has you turn into this wild ball of arc energy. It's like nothing we've done in Destiny before.
Okay.
The
okay.
Mattermorph ability lets you twist the objects in the world around you.
With Relocator, you've essentially co-opted the Fallen's teleportation networks and can use it to cross gaps you wouldn't have even considered before.
It'll be the small tells, an open vent, a broken window, things
Oh,
you
the
want to
Metro-
remember because you might be
The
revisiting them later.
Metroidvania style.
Abilities can be upgraded, so as you unlock new perks, you can chain them into your build crafting in clever ways.
By far the most game-changing is one of Matterspark's upgrades. On Kepler, it lets you turn into Matterspark the same way you'd summon a sparrow, wherever and whenever.
Okay, that's
It will
convenient.
optimize not only exploration, but also combat on future playthroughs in super creative ways. There are tons of cool combinations. You can suspend an enemy with Mattermorph, bend a path up toward the sky, and then in mid-air, leap into Matterspark to dash across the arena and arc chain a group of enemies.
The team has already seen players pairing abilities with different exotic perks and aspects to create some really crazy builds.
We know this is only the beginning and can't wait to see what happens once players get their hands on this kit.
Hell yeah.
All right. Hello, welcome to Bungie, and welcome to our Destiny 2 Edge of Fate live stream. This will be the first live stream that we have leading into launch. Big shout out to the folks that we had on our Dev Insight video. We were just talking about Kepler, destination abilities, some of the secrets of Kepler and the Aeonians, but we're going to leave that for a later date for you to discover. Today we're going to be talking a bunch about Sandbox. We have a bunch of core feature updates with Armor 3.0, gear tiering, some
sure
new
everything's
loot for you to
good.
grind out, and a bunch of cool things to show. So without further ado, let's get to it. We have a wonderful panel of developers on our couch. Some of them are new, some of them you've seen before. But yeah, let's start out with Eric. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for asking, Dylan.
Yeah. For folks that maybe haven't seen you on a previous live stream where you've talked about burst weapons and all the cool ability stuff, who are you? What do you do?
Sure. I'm Eric Smith, gameplay lead on Destiny 2, and I'm excited to dive into our sandbox changes.
Awesome. Vivian, hello, hello. Welcome to the live stream format. We've seen you on Vidocs from time to time, but yeah, for folks that haven't met you, seen you on our Vidocs. Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah, I'm Vivian Bex. I'm a sandbox designer on Destiny. I get the privilege of making like a lot of the toys that players get to use, you know, like weapons and stuff. Recently, I've kind of been all over the sandbox team, and I have some very exciting stuff to show today. I'm really excited.
Man. Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. And last but not least, end of the couch, Bjorn. Taylor Bjorndal. How you doing?
I'm doing greght. Happy to be
Who
here.
are you? What do you do here, buddy?
Taylor Bjorndal, associate weapons designer, sandbox designer. I've also bounced around and done a lot of stuff. Excited to talk about all of the million things we changed.
Yeah, right. I think the last time we had you on the couch, we were talking grid skipper roles and things like
Yeah,
that.
it's been a bit.
Yeah. So as we're diving into this, we have quite a bit to go through in the show. And to start, we're actually going to be in the shooting range. We're going to have our gameplay specialist going through, showing you some of the new weapons, some of the new abilities that are going to be coming. But this will be playing in the background. You'll see them tuning a couple different enemies, playing around, damage types, that kind of stuff. To start with our panel, though, let's talk Armor 3.0. Eric, if we can talk about, like, where did we start with ammo? Where was it back in the day? Where are we going? What's the high-level vision for our changes?
Yeah, so when Destiny 2 launched, we had armor in the game, but there were 3 stats. There were no mods available. And then with Shadowkeep, we hit Armor 2.0, where we added 3 additional stats for a total of 6, and armor mods as well. And this is the next evolution for the new saga of Destiny 2. In Armor 3.0, we are adding, or we're reworking the stats. We're adding set bonuses, and we are adding gear tiers as well.
Yeah.
And the goals with Armor 3.0, so one, we want to make armor more exciting and desirable. When's the last time you saw a purple armor dropped and you were, thrilled to go pick it up and see what was inside? And then
almost
we
never.
rework the stats to make sure no stat is left behind, no stat feels mandatory. And give you further depth of build crafting in your armor rolls, essentially.
Yeah, and then an underlying goal as well that I've seen you execute upon and the team really is approachability. There are a lot of new UI tools where you're hovering over perks, stats, all that kind of stuff. You're seeing actual percentages, you're seeing more full descriptions for things, helping newer players or returning players get reacquainted with the sandbox of Destiny.
Yeah, in this release and in coming releases, we are absolutely focusing on making the game easier to digest and understand what's going on. And this, looking at the shooting range here, is a great example of this, like where I can just go and see how much damage I'm doing, and test out my weapons, test out these builds, and see the actual changes that my new armor and whatnot is giving me.
Yeah, and you can load in here with a full fire team of 6 if you want to check out raid boss damage, or just come in here by yourself if you're on Discord talking to friends, shooting the stuff. So let's really quick talk about stats. This is one of the major overhauls. A couple things are leaving.
This is
a couple
what we've
things
all
are being
been worried
added.
about.
Really quick, if you could get a quick scroll through some of the stats, go ahead and give us.
Yeah. So we've removed some stats. We've removed resilience. We've removed recovery,
mobility.
yes, and mobility. So instead, starting from
There's
the top,
even
we got
percentages
health,
for the
then we
PvE and
have,
PvP.
Melee and grenade, super, class, and then our weapon stat. So
Okay,
this
so
is
it
an entirely new
kind of
suite
micromanages the
that's doing
stats and
things.
breaks
All of
it
our
down
stats
for you.
now, instead of going to 100, they go to 200. So once you go above 100, you get an additional benefit put on top of the 0 to 100 benefit. And these, on the ability side, we are giving you kind of your uptime and how much energy you're getting in the 0 to 100 range. And then the 100 to 200 range, we're increasing things like damage, things like survivability, which is somewhere we've never really, gone into. And it's going to
They got the into the
really
light
give
setup.
players more tools to customize their build, kind of pinpoint single, like, I'm going to be this badass grenade thrower that's just doing shit tons of grenade damage, or I could be more defensive or more weapon focused and all of this, right?
Yeah, we haven't had like a weapons stat before, and it's sometimes been you'd have to like hook into the artifact to make like a true weapons build, and we've kind of pushed further into that world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think we saw some questions specifically about the weapon stat and PvP. I know y'all have been balancing in the PvP, making sure this is kind of like cherry on top. It doesn't change the time to kill too much, but it's kind of like a cost balancing factor, right? If you want that extra damage, you lose out on grenades, things like that.
Sure, yeah. So if you want to go all in on weapons, like your weapons are going to be more potent than they were before, but it's at the expense of your other abilities and that sort of thing. So
So you
we
got to
have
be
done
very
extensive
precarious
testing to
about
make
what you
sure we're not
spend your
breaking
stats
PvP.
into.
That said,
Okay.
in the first day that this comes out, the
So
amount of
you're
hours
gonna
we've
really
put
have to
into this by
micromanage your
genius
stats.
members of the community is going to dwarf what we've done. So it's a little bit scary how much change we've actually put in this. The team's worked so hard across the entire game. Everything you hear today it's not apples to apples with the pre-Edge of Fate numbers and feel of the game. It really across the game we have just changed so much.
It's very different.
It is.
It's not really easy to compare the experience of what's going to be in the next release to what people are playing right now.
But at the same time, it still feels like Destiny.
Yeah, it's that
like,
quintessential feel of I got my gun, I have my abilities, but now it's how much agency do I have in leaning into some of these things and embracing like a role-playing mechanic.
Yeah.
And one of the cool things is like internally, I think the most common thing we say on like our sandbox channel now has just like emerged as, man, I can't wait for 900. The sandbox is really exciting. There's a lot of really specific builds you can do. Like if you want to be the melee guy, you can be the melee guy more than ever before, right? And it's I think we're going to see some really crazy stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of embracing some of these different lanes, we actually have 3 new exotics coming with the Edge of Fate. Each class is going to get 1 new exotic. Each embrace a different sort of vibe or theme, and yeah, you can see them on screen. I think first,
I'm definitely going to play around
we're
with
gonna
these
start
builds.
With the Warlock exotic, and Bjorndal, you have all the details.
Sure. Yeah, so first we have Yunoya, which is Warlock exotic themed around the Hellion aspect. What this does is after your Hellion fires, after a certain amount of time, the projectile is going to shatter into a bunch of submunitions that will like seek nearby units and scorch them. And so it kind of like adds a little bit of like skill play to something that was kind of more of a passive aspect in the past.
Yeah, and I think in the shooting range we can see like it can be both a single target or a group sort of ad clear exotic, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I only
it
only
can
see
kind of
the
serve
one.
multiple
Okay, there we
purposes,
go. There we
kinda
go.
like amping up something that was like a trusty
Oh, that's pretty cool.
old tool to be something a little more that you have to like manually aim.
That's gonna be nice.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
and you
nice.
can like, because it like splits in mid-flight, you can kind of like control your spacing to like control the grouping of it. If you want to hit one target, you know, if you're at the right
a little bit
distance, you'll hit
closer.
all 5, yeah. And they'll like burst way earlier than before. Or if you like get way back, you can just blanket a region.
Love it. Yeah, and we can see on the screen too, like some of the looks of the exotic and the Hellion have changed.
Yeah, so like while you're using the exotic, the Hellion itself, like the little solar buddy, will have the same X that the gauntlets do. So it's like a nice little nod to like match the exotic.
Love it.
This thing looks so metal. I'm like so about having that big gas canister on my arm. Having that like flamethrower warlock arm is so cool. I may have to start switching play warlock.
Love it. Next up, I believe we have Hunter on docket.
Yeah, so the Hunter exotic is Morai, which is a strand-themed exotic that's about your threaded spike and tangles, where you can basically like yo-yo a tangle from out in the field back in your hand and then throw it again. So the way this works is if you have a tangle out in the field, you throw your strand Hunter melee at it, it'll pop the tangle and then bring one back to you that if you catch the spike, you'll get another tangle. So you can like duplicate the tangle, which works really well with a lot of Strand Hunter aspects like Whirling Maelstrom and just like the existing tie-in with like grappling to a tangle.
Oh
so
boy.
you get, like,
Oh
even
my
more
goodness. It's gonna be a
mobility
bit of a
lot of,
trick
like,
play.
potential. And
Ah,
also it
okay.
will return more energy when you catch it as well. So like even if you don't hit anything or you don't grab a tangle, so it helps you keep that engine going.
Yeah, you can see the strand energy attached to the threaded
Oh
spike.
my
So if you
goodness.
grab that. I love how we're rewarding that like perfect grab.
Yeah.
You can already hear people yelling "spin to win" as they're
Yeah.
spanking these things, right?
Yeah, I mean you can have 3 Beyblades out in the field at any time.
Exactly.
Like zipping between the tangles with grapple. It's cool as hell.
It's very strong. It's also going to be very strong with this.
He said
part
the
of
magic
so
word,
we
the
have some which
Beyblades.
We'll talk about, but
That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted.
another cool tidbit about this is it will the threaded spike will bounce to the tangle from enemies as well.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
it's something that has a lot of easy use and really rewards skill at the same time.
Yeah, I think before we move on to Titans, and sorry Titans, we'll get to you in a second. Really cool exotic. I do want to talk about Gambler's Dodge. In the last TWID, we talked about a bunch of abilities changes, exotic tuning, that kind of stuff. And we saw some chatter around Gambler's Dodge. It was updated and reworked, right?
Yeah, we have reworked Gambler's Dodge. So it's the energy you get when you dodge now scales on your melee stat, but you no longer have to dodge near enemies to get that energy. So I can dodge anywhere in the game. I don't have to worry about this invisible circle that's around me to know if I'm close enough. It is going to feel more consistent. If I build into melee, it's going to feel more powerful. And there's also, Taylor, you were talking about the multiple charges, right?
So if you, like our bar for a lot of this stuff is if you are at 70 stat, you'll get the full refund like you used to. But if you go beyond that, you'll actually get a little bit more, which most of the time doesn't matter. But like if you're using like a Fiddy Spathe or any of the multi-melee things or Stasis Shurikens, it'll go up to like 1 1/3 charges.
Okay.
So you can keep that going even better if you're fully invested in melee. So you have like more reasons like to invest in it. If you want more melees, you want them to be more damaging, then you just go all in on that, and it will still do
like
stuff.
just so many shurikens,
Yeah.
just an embarrassment of shurikens.
Which is great. Like,
Freeze everything in front of you. right?
exactly.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then I won't be bothering you and saying, "Don't kill this thing. Let me do my dodge."
Yeah,
anytime.
you can just do it wherever
I
you
wonder
want.
how much energy you
So,
would
yeah,
get back
let's,
if you
let's
try to
go on
try to
tokens. So this one
use that with
thematically, I
prismatic.
think, for me at least, I'm just like, you're a forge master.
Yeah. So this is Melis Panoplia, which is an
A hard
exotic
name to say.
Yeah.
As we get deeper into Destiny, the names get a little. Yeah, but go ahead.
It's it's an exotic themed around something that people have been asking for a long time, which is kind of the fantasy of Thor's hammer. Of I want to be able to pull my hammer back to me after I throw it. So there's like a little minigame loop here where you get a fire sprite, you pick it up, then you get a buff
Bells
that
in the
lets
chat.
you pull the hammer back to you. And if you pull the hammer back with good timing, it'll explode into like solar shrapnel and hit stuff for like extra damage on the way back. Kind of like how Hammer Saw works, and I think the hammer also will damage things on the return trip too. So if you position yourself
does it?
well, you can actually like send it back through guys.
Line 'em up.
Back, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've wanted to do
Oh,
this
that could
for
be a
long time,
nice
but it's
little
been,
PvP tech,
kind of
too.
a scary
Complicated.
Toss it and hit
It's hard to
one
balance
guardian, and another guardian
sort
tries
of thing
to
where it's like it
get you.
returns all
You
your
just like
energy, but
reposition
it
and pull it,
also- you can
pull it back.
to you at any time. So
Hit the second
Atlas
guardian.
design really knocked it out of the park as
I
far
don't
as
know if he'll do it in
came out so well.
PvP,
the
but hey,
balance
that
and the
that sounds pretty good.
activator and the
Performance.
Yeah, the performance.
Yeah. You were talking about the animation, right?
Yeah.
Before this.
I love the performance on this thing. We've got like this beat where it's like all this magnetic like handshaking. It feels so good. We actually did like a new tech thing on this where if you're like looking off to the side, we kind of move the player's hand a little bit, so you're like still kind of actually pulling the hammer. And it's like the first time we've done that with like a world object, and it's very cool. It feels really good.
Awesome.
It's super satisfying.
Yeah, I think so. We're going to be getting into some more gameplay and an actual activity in a minute. But before we go, I do want to ask for stats. And actually, two things. With your exotics, there are going to be gear bonuses that you can build on top of, correct? And
Yeah.
that's a new Armor 3.0 feature.
Yeah, so gear bonuses when a new armor set drops. If you have 2 or more pieces from that armor set, you will get an additional perk. If you have 4 or more pieces from that armor set, you will get another perk on top of that. So I could take 2 pieces from one set, 2 pieces from another set, and then an exotic. And I have like more perks than I've ever had before on my Guardian. And it's really enables you to expand your build crafting in new ways.
Yeah, I
makes
think
it exciting.
we have an example of this in the build right now. If gameplay specialists could inspect an armor piece, you can see. Yeah, here's some of the destination
There we
armor
go.
bonuses
Okay.
that you can get.
Yeah, so at 2
Whoa,
pieces we have
with
Force
the rocket,
Converter.
and then
At 4 pieces we have Reactive Booster.
Okay.
And- sorry, go for it, Vivian.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like, so yeah, these are unique to the armor set itself. Something more than just like cosmetics that you might want out of these.
Gives you another reason to like go to
Right.
a specific
It's
place
about
to
time
pursue
we
a
actually
specific armor
get,
set
like,
besides just fashion. Although fashion is still very
RPG
You'll use
type
your
armor
synthesis,
sets, like
what the looks on these.
Yeah, and I mean, we also get to make perks that are like.
And you
I'm
can
the-
mix,
the
and you can
this
kind of,
guy,
you can
know,
mix match it too,
because you're
because you got the
investing so
2-piece
heavily
and the
in the
4-piece.
4-piece perk. But what's really cool about this is like, I think this is going to be very cool at live when we like launch. But I think in like 2, releases or whatever, just a little bit in the future, we're going to see people go like, hey, remember that armor
Yeah.
that I
mixing
got?
like something from 2 seasons ago.
Right,
and
the
now.
2-piece perk from Kepler is really cool with whatever,
Yeah.
and we're really
Sweet.
excited about that.
Yeah, and then the second piece of this is going to be for the stats rework. Some of the fragments are going to be reworked as well to adopt new stats or change, right?
Yeah, so fragments still can adjust your stats up or down depending on your build. And some of these, because we've deprecated some of our perks, or stats rather, some of these are new. Like we're gonna have, some of these will have weapon stat, which never have happened before, which just opens up new build crafting avenues. We're gonna kind of wait and see how this lands, how the dust settles for all of the stat stuff before we go in and adjust these further. But yeah, I think players have a lot of different ways to build out their stats and become the grenade master, the weapon master, and whatever they want to do.
So quick shout out, Dark Slifer, Childish CG, and Snivvyland for those last two questions. They actually asked them ahead of time. Feel free to keep dropping questions in chat. I'm glancing down here every so often. Now it is time to move on, and let's talk about some new stuff. Vivian, you have been very excited about a new weapon archetype that is coming with the Edge of Fate.
I sure am. For centuries, humanity has wondered, like, what would a legendary bow look like in the heavy slot? And today I have your answer.
In the heavy slot?
For Edge of Fate, we are building a crossbow. This is...
What?
So it plays like a new archetype, but it is technically a bow for the purposes of, like, it's going to fill all your bounties, that kind of stuff. Now, so when we went to go make this, we knew it was like, it's a very cool fantasy, right? We want the feeling of like really drawing it back and it hitting a single target and doing a ton of damage. But we do have linear fusion rifles, right? And that's always the question, is like, what does this do that's different? What's the fun gameplay here? And we settled on, well, when you shoot that big heavy bolt and it hits your target, you can just go pick it back up. So this thing theoretically is a heavy weapon with unlimited ammo.
What?
You can use the same bolt for an entire nightfall if you want. I'd love to see someone do that. Go clear a dungeon without ever using anything else.
Man.
It's very cool. You have to put yourself in danger. You have to go grab it. But it's just such a satisfying loop to just like pull it out of some dead hive. Just put it in the rail, pull it back, use the same bolt to shoot someone else. It's great.
I saw last week in a PvP.
Hold on.
I saw someone run the entire map with a single bolt, and they just kept it alive for minutes on end.
That was me. I'm sorry.
I hear the PvP means like when you said infinite heavy ammo, they're like, excuse me,
Yeah,
but it's like you gotta go.
You gotta go get it. So it's not free, but it is very.
I mean,
in PvP, you only get the one. You gotta get the headshot, and it's very funny. It
okay,
like
so
this
it
game of, like,
has to be a
Super
headshot to
where
get
you're
it
like,
back. Okay.
Taylor, get near this thing.
Oh man.
So as we're going into this activity, we'll get some gameplay footage. This is a good example of the portal system that we'll be talking about next week on July 1st. Make sure to tune in. But we're going to be taking some
And it's a
content from
legendary.
just the history of Destiny, and it will be in the portal to go in and play. Power progression, we'll be talking about that next week, so stay tuned for that. Vivian, back to the heavy crossbow though. You were talking about this being legendary, so that means random rolls, and you had mentioned bolts.
Yes, yeah. So we had a really fun opportunity
That's
when we were making this, where we go to the talent grid, and we always want to make stuff kind of like new and different. And we got to the talent grid, and we were like, this thing does not have a magazine. We cannot put magazines on this, right? And it gave us the opportunity to like really go, what would like a different magazine plug system look like? And so what we ended up going for is like, we have bolt types, and the bolt types, instead of just being stats, they're going to alter the way the bolt actually behaves out in the world.
Yeah.
So we've got, one of them is like explosive bolt, where it's gonna put in a target, it'll like beep, 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 and it'll just explode. Kind of like a grenade launcher. And then we have, my personal favorite is that we have serrated bolts. I remembered to say the shipping name this time.
Oh, you can say, if it doesn't have 3 names, it's not real game dev.
Yeah. I never know when things go live. I never know. I'm like, you guys know better than I do the names.
Go ahead.
But so we have serrated bolts, and you can put like the bolt in a target with serrated bolts, and you can normally draw them back out of living targets, but if you have serrated bolts, they're gonna deal damage on the exit too.
Oh!
It's so satisfying to like land the final hit with the pull, and you just pull back your bolts and you get them, and they just go flying.
I'll take that back. Yeah. When you first brought this up, I was just like, that's so metal. Like,
That is metal.
Really quick, just on the topic of
I like
ammo,
that. I like
there are
that.
new ammo meters. Bjorn, we were going to talk about this in the firing range, shooting range. But we actually have some live gameplay where we can see these meters working out. Can you talk us through what is this new system? How does it work? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, so there's been a pretty big shakeup in the way that ammo works in the game, where in the past it wasn't really anything that you had too much control over, but now it is something that you have like a lot of control over and a lot of build crafting hooks to optimize or like make your own. And it almost like kind of works like an ability or like a super does now, where it lives in your weapon tray. You can see there below the weapons on kills and assists with anything that'll tick up. And then when you hit full, the next kill will drop you a brick of that type. So there's a lot of things you can do now that you can build into to like have a lot more control over the pacing of when you're getting that.
Sweet.
And like there's a bunch of armor mods that exist now.
Sorry about that.
That like pretty much all the things that used to be finders or inventory now fit into ammo generation, which is like a new weapon stat. So players have a lot of different ways to kind of build around that, depending on like, you know, if you have a really ammo-hungry special weapon, then you have some options now to actually make that easier to feed.
And we'll be talking about this in depth in a future Twitter blog, so stay tuned for that, especially PvP heads. I've already seen conversation from the content creator videos going out. But before we get out of combat, I do want to talk about, alongside the new weapon archetype of the crossbow, we have some new weapon frames coming to the game.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, this is what I
Let's
want
start
to
with the
see.
hand cannon.
All right, yeah, so we have the spread shot hand cannon. It's like
Trials.
a big, chunky, beefy hand cannon that fires shotgun pellets. Very close range, but hard hitting. 2-tap PvP. I'm a little afraid of that, but
Two
you know,
tap.
But
I'm
it's
sure it'll
close
be
range,
great.
right?
Yeah,
Like-
it's very limited. It's like a sidearm, like big punchy sidearm, but like even less range than a sidearm. But like
God,
less
look
precision.
at all this.
This thing has
Trench
like a
barrel.
baby in
Yeah.
PvP. I
It's-
love this thing.
It's pretty great.
It's kind of like having like a sawed-off
Yeah.
that's like a primary ammo, and it is just so good if you play aggressive or you use like other abilities to hit people.
It's
or
really
just
good
want
as like a
people-
mixer in between other stuff.
Right, and that's exactly how I play. So I love this thing.
And second, so shout out to Sammy Cat, resident bow lover. She does full solo dungeons, HUD off, bows only. We have a new bow frame that's going to be coming.
Yeah, so we made a longbow, which is like a big, heavy war bow. Even slower draw than precisions, but more damage, and it has intrinsic over-penetration. So if you line up a bunch of thrall and you like hip fire a full draw, it'll just go straight through all of them with one shot.
I love that our damage numbers have been squished a little bit. So they actually mean something now. Because if you look at how much damage this bow is doing compared to like each one of those pellets in the hand cannon.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when like in the live game where it's like I did 20,000 damage with a shot. I was like,
Yeah,
the
it's hard to
numbers-
compare.
Yeah, it
Right.
starts to be
Right.
meaningless. But for me, we've just changed so much, and I can't overstate like how. Yeah, how much has changed and how this game is I guess evolving.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of those changes are like, they go hand in hand, right? Like us changing the stats around, you know, us making new builds possible. A lot of these changes are all like, they're all going to kind of combine to create something something new.
Yeah. Did you see that front shielded ogre?
Oh,
With
boy.
we have a new. We'll talk about this next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next
new
week.
Banes are incredible. I'm very excited for players.
Oh boy. Yeah.
play with.
New Banes, new modifiers.
Oh
all that
my
kind of
goodness,
stuff.
he's gonna mention it but not
The
say
final,
nothing about it.
final weapon we got on tap is going to be a special weapon, another burst, shoots explosives.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
This is the one we keep seeing.
I know a lot of people are big fans of rocket-assisted sidearms. Now we have a rocket-assisted frame pulse rifle. So that fits a similar role, but a little bit different. It's a little more ammo hungry than the sidearms. Got a bit more range and hits a bit harder. So it kind of fits in between like a fusion rifle and a sniper rifle. Also
So
kind of
it's a
fires a little
more-
different than pulse rifles, which is interesting, just because like
I guess say it's a
both
better
pulse
weapon,
rifles have, like,
better
different burst
type
delay,
than
but when
the
you're firing
the ones that we found on
each
like
pulse,
Neomuna,
they'll
how they have like
same
the
fire.
rocket
So
assisted
this-
ones.
Instead of being like the brr, it's like a bop bop bop. So it feels heavier and it's firing these like big, slower projectiles. So it feels
Oh, okay.
chunkier.
No,
Thank
so
you
it's
for doing a Dave Samuel.
Yes.
it's implemented
I aspire
already.
to
So it's
greatness.
not like with
This thing is like,
I can't
real
remember the
cool, it's
weapons
real
on
heavy,
Neomuna.
But it's also like,
The
you know,
ones
like
where
we said,
you
it's, like,
just fire
pretty
and then
hungry.
after a certain
One of the
amount
cool
of
things about
shots,
900 is like we
it'll
can
shoot the
we
little
have
rocket.
the ammo stat, you know, you can build into that, you can eliminate that downside, and now you can see it working.
Yeah, same for the longbow too. Like there were some perks on the random rolls that you can go in. lessen the draw time. Like, sure, it's still going to be a little bit slow fiery, heavy hitting.
I feel like
but
that would
there's
go
a bunch
crazy
of ways
on
that
a
you
Warlock.
can build craft and tune these things to feel good for your play.
Like you have like one for all or other things that care about hitting multiple targets.
Yeah, right. So as we're going through this transition, we actually have a bunch more to cover, and gear tiering has been top of mind for a lot of players ever since our reveal stream. So Eric, I'd love to dive in and just revisit what's the high-level vision statement for gear tiering and how we're getting players reinvested in some of that.
Yeah, so gear tiering enables players to look at a piece of gear at a glance and like understand how powerful it is.
Yeah.
So you can see those kind of 5 icons or 5 little dots there. This is a 5th tier armor piece we're looking at. And the stat package or the stat pool that each piece gives is going to depend on the tier. So you can see at tier 1 is going to drop between 52 and 57 stat totals. And then at tier 5, you are guaranteed 75 stats plus stat tuning, which lets you kind of add some.
Yeah, shout out to, there were a bunch of folks that were asking, what are stat bands? Because in the game right now, it's what is low to a given player. Like 62 feels low, but an actual definition is like 58 or lower.
Yeah.
In the game now, we have UI that tells you exactly what are the stat bands for each of the tiers.
Yeah,
so
because
you know
I
what you're
stopped.
looking for as you're trying to build the 200.
I stopped
or
like
150
holding
or
on to
whatever.
certain ones. Like if it doesn't drop with like a
I love that
65
you did this, 'cause
or
this is
higher,
the
I
most
started
common
deleting
question I
my
get in
armor.
clan that I answer,
And
I love
then
that you could just go
I
see it
kept
now.
after I
I mean,
basically
originally
rotated
games
all
were
of those armors out.
the
I started
biggest
going
thing about
up.
This is that
So I think I'm
because the
now up
bands are a
to
lot narrower, you have a much
67.
better
Anything
expectation of what you're
67
getting, like,
and below,
before you even start
I
the
started
activity.
deleting,
So,
or I didn't
you know, a lot of
even
people
keep.
like you go into a master dungeon.
But
to
now that I
find
know
Spartan's
that
armor, and
the
you don't know
max
if you're
is
gonna get,
75
like,
and up,
55 or 70.
I'm gonna have
It's like
to-
an extremely
I'm gonna
wide
have to start
range, but
farming.
like that takes a lot of time and effort to get through. So now it's just like you're going into like the toppest end difficulty.
I don't know if
to
I'm
get
do the
to
day one
5, so you
raid,
know
but,
exactly what you're getting.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
we'll see.
significantly more likely that when you
I
get
would
your
like
drop,
to, but
it's going to be something valuable. It might not be
if
valuable
I have a
with your
team,
exact build,
I
but
would
it
like
will be
to, but-
valuable. It'll be the stats
I don't know if I
total
will.
that you want.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah,
We'll be
and with
hopeful.
The new portal system, which we'll talk about next week, you're going to have a score goal that you want to hit to get that exact armor piece, and it's like more targeted farming or more targeted. If I want to chase a certain thing, like I know what I have to do to get it, and when it drops, I know what it's going to give me as far as the total value, right?
Yeah.
And it's just much more clear and exciting. So.
And go ahead.
I really like, we're mousing over here, the armor archetype. We now like display what things are going to be high on it and what things are going to be low. And they're like a little further apart where things are going to be spikier now. And so like, if you want to really max out stats, you can just look for that, emblem. You'll know what your armor is kind of like going to be good at. And it's
You can see that like at your main inventory level too. So you're just like mousing over like, oh, I just got a bunch of drops. What did I get? Cool. Is it gunner? Is it grenadier?
Right.
Like what is the thing that I want? You can use it as like a quick reference rather than needing to go all the way into inspection and see like the exact stats.
And the last detail on tier 5 for armor, we mentioned this in the reveal stream, but you can get to 11 energy for your armor. So it helps with build crafting. You can get more of those armor mods slotted and that kind of stuff.
It goes to 11 now.
Yeah, right.
It
So
does
switching
better,
over to
yeah.
weapons, though, I would love to. We have some examples of tier 1, tier 3, and tier 5 weapons to show what is that progression that can
Yeah, similarly, when a weapon drops, I'm able to just glance at it and be like, oh, tier 1 weapon, it's going to have base stats, it's going to have a limited perk pool there. But then you can see at tier 3, we now have 2 enhanced traits. We have some of our columns are going to have more perk options in them. And then tier 5, so this is a tier 3. And then tier 5 is going to have even more. Like look at the options here, and so
trying to
much
get a look at.
enhancement.
I'm trying to get a look at
Yeah,
the.
tier 4 you get the enhanced weapon mods too.
Right.
Yeah, kind of
Intrinsic.
like how armor is like you have a much better understanding of like.
That's what I'm
when
trying to look at. I'm trying to look at like the
what is
actual
expectation
perks.
of things I'm getting. This like the multi perk and the enhanced perks kind of work for that too. So the odds of you getting that like specific god roll or multi god roll, if you're looking for like the combo PvP PvE weapon,
Yeah,
are
we're
a
adding.
lot higher than like in past activities where you're just getting okay, I'm gonna get one adept with one trait in each column.
Yeah, and we're adding a lot of depth. Like as we were hovering over those enhanced perks, they have additional things that they can do, whether it be stats or power for the perk. we're putting all of these details into the game so people know as they're getting into this depth, they can hover over these things, understand all the different stats. We'll of course have blog components. We'll have some guides that our players make, our creators make. We'll blast those out, but we're hoping to bring more of these sorts of things into
What
the
I'm
game to
worried
make it
about
easier
is
to
the
understand.
power creep.
So
Yeah,
If we're getting
if you
multi-god
have
roll
a great
weapons,
weapon drop that
what
dropped
will
this
happen
season or
moving
5
forward
seasons ago,
afterwards is what I'm
if it's a good roll, it's a good roll. Like it's
like
just
3
because,
columns.
It doesn't necessarily adhere to the tier system doesn't mean it is not equal or greater value in some
yeah,
cases.
there was this really funny reference that Mactix made, one of our creators, where he had this beautiful giant sword, and he's like, "This is what I got today, and it has perfect rolls for a rocket launcher, et cetera, et cetera. And here's my new tier 1 weapon that doesn't really have good perks. Like, what are you going to use?"
Yeah.
So to answer the question, Shadow on Blue Sky was asking, "Are my weapons that I have right now or armor, like, is that going to be viable in high-end content?" And the answer is, of course. There are going to be a couple things
Here
in
we
here
go.
that add incentive to try out new things. But Vivian, you had kind of framed it as a cherry on top, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's also like a way to, in the past, sometimes like the best way to get your path to power was like to do a lot of something. But now if you like do really hard activities as well, we're also just kind of rewarding you for the time there.
Yeah. So right at the
talk
nine.
about
Oh, go ahead.
feature gear stuff in relation to this.
Yeah, we will in a second, but I just wanted to touch on right at the 9. Some folks were asking, like,
Oh, boy.
what it is that you do in the tier system. And when you get an adept right at the 9 weapon, both of your columns are enhanced, all that kind of stuff. Like, it looks like a tier 3. It's going to feel like a tier 3 for a while. So there is a good handshake as you're going into Edge of Fate. But yeah, the last thing for tier 5 gear, I would like to show the cosmetic treatment that we've been doing. We showed this in the reveal stream, but tier 5s have an awesome new shader treatment and also kill effects.
Yeah, so these basically on the weapons, they'll come with like
This is the stuff that they were talking about that was like
fancy shader
swordy
on it,
confetti
and, then, something almost kind of similar to what we
little
do with sweaty
glimmer.
confetti, but now it's like a specific slot where it gets a custom kill effect that only comes on the tier 5 variant.
Yeah, and you can see with gear tiering, it's kind of learning a bunch of lessons through the years of Destiny. Like, kill effects are really cool. Players like this. Now we have a new slot for it. Players really like hollow foils as a chase in the game right now, and now we have tier 5s where you get sort of a hollow foil style treatment for it. So it's been really cool to watch y'all develop this over time. But to your point, this actually is a good segue into the next section where we're talking about new and featured gear and our artifact. So Eric, if you want to take the stage, What is new or featured gear?
Yeah, so our new gear, when we drop new weapons and armor for a season or for a release, that is going to get a bonus. It's going to be a little bit stronger than your other options.
Looks
So
like scouts,
on the
pulse rifles.
armor side, you are going to get a damage resistance bonus per piece you have.
Actually, it's a little bit of everything.
It kind of scales by
Okay.
gear tier. So if I have 5 tier 1 armor pieces,
Solar
I'm
art.
going to have 5% damage resistance against everything.
Solar Arc Strand.
But if I have 5 tier 5
Actually, no.
gear pieces, I'm going to have 15% damage versus everything.
It's going to be
So, I guess-
Stasis
yeah.
Strand.
So it is
and,
something that allows
solar.
me to have a little bit of an edge. It's a very small amount. It's a min-max
Okay.
sort of
Well,
situation.
I know what I'm going in
If I
with.
wanted
I'm
to
going
wear
in with
stuff that is
my
not in the
solar
new weapon,
and
like I'm not at a huge detriment.
Right.
But
Something
Solar
that gives you,
stasis
like,
build,
that
I'm gonna use
little
my-
bit of
I'm gonna have to go in
edge
there
to,
with the
like, reach
icebreaker.
out into like the highest
I can
tier
tell that's
stuff
gonna be
when
my
you, like,
entry
really
build
need just
already.
a little bit more health or a little bit more damage.
Yeah, speaking of damage, so you can see that the max is actually 10%.
sniper
This
is
is a
unstopped.
clarification. We invited some folks into the studio to look through all of this. The original number was 15%. It's actually 10% on your additional damage when you get all your tier 5 weapons equipped. So again, cherry on top, where it kind of gives you that edge, and also it gives you a way, kind of like in earlier
Only a
releases where
10% though?
you
It
walk
doesn't-
out into the
it's
tower
not
and
like
you're
a
wearing all your raid
stackable
gear.
thing?
You're kind of like peacocking, as y'all have framed it. And now it's, oh, hey, I have all tier 5 gear. This shows, like, not only have I mastered this content, but I've earned a bunch of really cool stuff, gotten all the gear I want, and now I can carry my team through. So, when it comes to the new gear as well, what's the way that you identify that as a player?
yeah, so if you see that little kind
Caught
of
lacking on
top
stream?
of-
What?
of
What you
the
mean?
armor
What
piece,
you mean?
That is going to that's going to tell me that it is in
Because
the
I'm
new
not
gear.
doing the
So
Zenless Zone
it's not
Zero
only gear
goon
from
session,
this season
huh?
or release, but it's also gear. It's like a collection of exotic pieces as well.
Yeah,
So-
if we hop into the collections really quick, there's actually a new section that's going to show, here's our featured gear. So if you have some things from previous releases, those are going to be a part of the build crafting as well.
Correct.
A note for any newer players or returning players, some of these things are actually like, you can go to Xur, try to grab those. You can go into Rider
First thing
9.
that came to mind.
Emissary is going to have a few things like Graviton Lance. That's a great thing to pick up before this new release starts, so then you have a little bit of an edge going.
Graviton Lance
Yeah.
will
And,
always
know,
be
if
a
y'all
great
screenshot this,
exotic.
you can start hunting this stuff down right now, right?
Yeah, and we will have follow-up blogs where we're going to go line by line. I understand, like, this stream has a lot of data. It has a lot of numbers, that kind of stuff.
Which is crazy. I
This
actually just
year we'll
started
have a full
doing
bulleted
the
list, not
story.
just
I
in
know I'm
Twitters,
late.
but in patch notes as we keep going. So,
Enjoying it
with
so
that, we
far.
can
It's
go
not
into
not
the,
bad. It's
facts
not
as well.
bad.
Cool.
I have some questions. We'll have to get
Yeah,
into
so the artifact this time
about some
around,
things, but I
we're,
might
you know,
just hold off
we're
on
going and
those
we're
until
exploring
after I
Kepler.
play the
So,
story.
Kind of going with that theme is we wanted this to be kind of like, you know, scout the wild
'Cause there's
frontier. And so
something
to that
that's-
end, it's
Something that's been tugging at me
a
in
little
Zenless
longer range
that I was like, you know what?
weapon-wise
I have a
than
question
some of our
about this,
recent
but I feel like
artifacts.
it'd be a spoiler
One
if
of the
I
other,
ask. So I'm gonna
themes
play
that
through
we
the
wanted to
story
get
and then
was,
see if I was right.
This is gonna be like me and my fire team, you know? So if you're scouting solo, we have stuff for solo. If you're scouting as a group, we have stuff as a group. Then lastly, is this artifact with a little more weapons focus than we maybe normally do. Because we wanted to highlight
You
that
dropping
kinda
those
like
moons? I
the
might be
Guardians
right.
kid,
I might be on the
down-to-earth,
money.
kinda like, you know,
Oh,
grit
boy.
thing. Some of my
Oh,
favorite
boy.
parts in these are in the fifth
Oh,
column.
man.
There's that first one is Radiant Shrapnel, and this is gonna add like an additive shrapnel burst when you're killing guys when they're radiant, or when you're radiant, or they are scorched. And I actually really like that.
If
like,
you're
you pay off
thinking
Scorched a
the way
little,
that I'm
'cause, like,
thinking,
sometimes you can't quite get that
like-
ignition, you know.
So
And
that's going to pair really well
It
with
was something that was
Warlock
introduced at the
design.
beginning
oh yeah, you could
of
scorch
the
a
new
bunch of guys, and then you
story,
can cause
and
them
I
to
feel
all
like
burst.
it
It's very
plays
cool.
a
The
very
fourth
crucial
one
part
in
at the
this,
ending of
column
the
also
story.
is a favorite of mine. It's Tangled Web, and this is going to suspend everyone when you generate a tangle via combat. And normally we do that effect. We reserve that effect for breaking the tangle, right? And now it's like on creation.
I'll give a
It's very
hint.
fun situation where you can just kind of.
You don't have to say anything. It's
I'll be back. And they can't do anything, and it kind of gets.
It
you
has
there
to do
faster
with
if you're not
a
using
certain
Minecraft
person
or
in a
something.
It works
picture.
really well with the hunter.
Really well with the exotic. It's lots of
It has
fun.
to do with a certain person in
I
a
think,
picture.
so there's a question
Uh,
from V for Rare Ask. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Asking, are there going to be more
Yes,
seasonal
so
mods?
that's
And,
what
with
I
the
feel like it
artifact,
has to
you
do
can
with the
see
person in the
next major
picture
update, there's going to be another
and
row, as people
the
know,
new
with the featured
farmable
gear, there's
boss.
also going to be added exotics to that.
You don't have to
row.
say anything. I just
And Bjorn, I believe we are also making some.
feel like
new
I feel like we're
seasonal,
getting
mods that'll
the
be
bringer
released over time,
treatment.
correct?
Yeah,
Again.
kind of the same way that we did last season, where we had the like Taken theme set of weapon mods. We'll have the same thing for this release's theme. That you can find those out as they come.
Perfect. All right. Well, wow. I believe we are at the end of the stream. Thank you so much for joining us on
Really?
the couch. Everybody out there, thank you so much for joining us during this live
Oh, that
stream to
was
see what
fast.
we have to offer. We do have another live stream next Tuesday, July 1st, same time, same place,
Okay.
different cast. Sorry.
Mark
I'll
your
invite you back
calendars.
soon. But we're gonna be
July
talking
1st.
Portal Power Progression. So, what are you playing? How are you earning
Oh
things? How are you
man, I
getting
don't
up
even
to
know if
these
I'll
tier
be able
fives?
to be
And also,
available
how are you
July
customizing
1st.
your experience
Oh,
with new banes, new modifiers, all that kind of stuff. Just because this is information heavy, as I
yeah.
mentioned,
You said,
we
so
do
you
have a
said,
slate
oh
of wild content
yeah.
that'll be coming on Thursday. We have a standalone next Wednesday that'll talk a little bit more about gear tiering. Next Thursday, we'll also have another recap for
I
that
don't think I'll
stream
be
and
able to be
additional
there for
sandbox
July
information.
1st. We'll
And then
see.
we keep
We'll
marching
see.
into launch with more patch note previews, gear previews, all that kind of stuff. So
I actually,
outside
I
of the
think I
full
start
suite
to
of gear,
go
you'll
back
be
to work
earning
on the
Kepler,
1st, so we
bunch
will
of stuff
see.
to discover. So
We'll see.
thank you so much again for joining. This has been a fun stream, and as we leave, we're going to toss you over to our good friend Fallout. He's going to be talking through a bunch of what we said today. He was one of the creators that we invited to Bungie with hands-on, so he can explain some things. And we'll
Oh.
be collecting questions throughout the rest of the day to answer in the twit. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Oh my god, the chat. I'm just looking at the chat in. Oh my goodness. Okay, so with that being said, I guess we're gonna go over to our stream. Alrighty. Okay. Okay. So they said that update 2 for Wilds is supposed to come out at the end of June. So sometime this week is supposed to be I guess sometime this week is supposed to be it. Oh, hold on. There we go. There we go. There we go. Had to take off the desktop audio so that way it's not duplicating. Man, I don't even know what Monster Hunters is doing right now. Like, I'm trying my hardest to keep up on the grind, but it's, you know what I'm saying? It's not like Worlds. I don't know. Something's missing. You know, I want to play it. I really want to play it, but it's the drive to grind for it. I'm missing something. Just something's missing from it. Like, I have all of my hammers. I've already started getting like half of my hunting horns, half of my gun lances, and you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like normally I would go ahead and be like, oh, I want to grind for these weapons and stuff like that. But something just, I don't know, something about Wilds is like, I'm grinding, but then I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, something about it. Something about it. Like I said, I would love to play it. I would love to play it. Love to play it. Like, I've been trying to like actually grind through my levels. Like, I've been burning through my investigations to try to go ahead and keep progressively doing one, trying to get through all of those ones, since I have like a bunch of like crowns to give away. And then on top of that, I've been trying to like build up my level and try to do the 50 monster challenge. But fighting 50 of each monster is like just in a row is it is a drag. It is a drag. I think I've gotten maybe 5 or 6 done out of the group, and I'm just like, I'm not sweating it. I'm just like, I'm dreading it, especially when I get to Jin Dahad. Fighting Jin Dahad 50 times is OD. It's that part is what's going to get me. Is fighting Jin Dahad 50 times. Whew. Yeah, it's definitely, the drive has killed off a lot of players. Like, a lot of players will wanted to play it, but then it's just like, it's just not, I don't know. I think for me is that like, we hunt so much, I don't want to run no more. I don't know, bro. Because me and the Quimetries, man, I was hunting that thing for days, for weeks. I was putting it on the map. KFC was back on the menu, boys. I'm talking. Hey, we don't have beef like that anymore. We have a mutual understanding of basically like when I walk through, you look the other way, kind of thing. But make no mistake, you cluck the same way that I'm walking. You gonna get the pause. I'm saying, like, hands will be thrown. Hands will be thrown. So I try to give it the benefit of the doubt. Like if it looks at me, hey, just you ain't see me. But if you want to get crazy with it, I can't help what happens next. I'm just saying, like, if the chicken wants to get crazy, it is what it is. You feel me? I'm just saying it is what it is what it is. It is what it is. All right. So now that we have done that, man, I don't even know what I want to even do now. Because it's Tuesday. Rather than 9, continue your conquest of the Ghost of the Deep dungeon. A quest is now available for a Hollow 4 version of a new Pacific Epitaph. In the dungeon random drops and gear are now available for. I don't think so. I don't think I will. Hold on. That way I'm not yelling to the birds and the bees out here. Oh, that's right. We did get the new emblem. So I think it's an account. Or is it general? Is it general? General. Let me actually check. Twitch. Emblem claim now. Boom. Let's see what it does. So the new emblem is going to be called Astromancy Emblem. I mean, hey, you get it. I am not held responsible for what happens. I am just the messenger. That's it. I mean, if it happens, it happens. I'm just saying, like, if you, well, that's what that one was. It is what it is. That's how I feel about the situation. It is what it is. I need to start doing GMs. What even is the weapon? Okay. While it's sitting there loading, I'll be right back. Okay. Thank you, thank you. I am back. I am back. And I have a guest. I have a little guest with us. Oh, hold on, buddy. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, don't get crazy. Uh-oh. Ah. There you go. Just a little bit. Yeah. Let's see. All right. Ta-da. Hmm. All right, buddy. We're gonna try to figure out what we're gonna do. We'll play a little bit more Destiny, and then we got stuff we got to do today. Oh, gee. Where did I? Okay, there it is. My back. Okay. Make sure. Okay. All right, child. I know, I know. You're trying to see all the colors. Trying to figure out what we're gonna do next. That's a great question. Great question.
How did it get all the way out there?
An excellent question, actually. I don't know what we are going to do.
Everything depends on the Vanguard. Hello, Guardian.
Okay, let's see. What is the actual thing this week? Okay. Nothing that I need. I think I've done everything that I needed to do today, at least as far as hold on. Actually, let me get my bright dust. I could. Do I want to? I don't know. We'll think about it. Oh. This would be great if I actually had the exotic. I still have yet to have. Yeah, I don't even have it at all. Yeah. Let's actually go and check it. I know I gotta get you comfortable. I'm sorry. hope they don't make me do all the quests again. If they do, I might have to switch characters. Section check.
They will not be denied.
What the? What? Hold on, buddy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did I not access these? I feel like I did. You know what? Hold on. Let me go and switch to. Dang, look at that. Look at that. True gamer. He's already got it on. Let me see. It should be what? General? Mm-hmm. No. Where would it be at? I probably gotta log out. Should be. All right. Let's see if it actually does the same thing. I shouldn't. Okay. I thought so. So it's just because I hadn't used my hunter was the reason why it showed so many of them. It's got all three of them out there. Thing is, I don't know if I actually want to. No. What is it that we want to do today? That's the real question. Because, like, I don't really have anything I need to do at this very moment right now. At least Destiny-wise. At least Destiny-wise. Pulls. Plays. Don't even really want to do a strike. Oh, that's right. Iron Banner is gone. And that was the last Iron Banner for the... At least for right now. Let's see if it popped up. Why is it not popping up? Hold on. Why is it not popping up? Do I need to log out again? Or completely back out? Alright, let's try it again. Try it again. Because I already redeemed the... Or at least I linked it up to my account to get the emblem. Why do we not see it, Bungie? Let's try it again. What you doing? Oh, you dropped it. Oh, it's right here. Ooh. 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 Do you not want it no more? You want to sit up? All right, so back for the flare. What are you doing, my boy? What you doing? Where is it at? External. Hold on. Let me... It said we got it, so let me check Twitch. What's wrong, Bubba? Huh? You have a burp? I feel like you got a burp, buddy. You good now? good now? All right, so it says that I'm supposed to have already, should be able to claim it, but it is not popping up. Am I just overlooking it? I think I am. Hold on. Let's actually go to the tower again. And watch it be sitting there in the actual kiosk. I knew you wanted this. I don't know why you spit it out. Are you getting tired? Hold on. Is that what it is? Yeah. Oh, my bad. True gaming. Adapt and overcome. Yes, adapt and overcome. There you go. Adapt and overcome. Yeah. All right, my boy.
Let's see what we've got for each other.
So, in terms of the actual, I want to say in terms of the actual expansion coming up, how do we generally feel about it? I want to say that I'm excited, per se. I want to say that I'm actually pretty excited for what's coming. A lot of changes. I'm curious as to like how the actual stat distribution is going to actually play actually going to play into our like play style. Some of the weapons actually look pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that crossbow does look pretty heat. That crossbow definitely looks pretty heat. So the emblem is still not here. Maybe if I play Crucible or something, it'll pop back up. All right, so while we do that, let's actually continue just a little bit more of our vaultification from what we had earlier. So we'll go ahead and clear the list that had earlier. Scroll back down and refresh. So it looks like the last one that we have right now, or at least we had just acquired one for C tier, is Claw of the Wolves. Right before we got done. So let's see, transfer that over. It's right here. You trying to see Destiny? Oh, look at you trying to be a little guardian. What you looking for? Oops. Transfer it over. If I actually get this to transfer over. Okay, when it does get to transfer over, I'm gonna go ahead and switch this right now. So that way. Alright. We're gonna give it a chance. Switch this to this one. Eternity. Refresh the page, and then we'll see what happens.
Control.
Really?
Take those zones and hold them to your last breath.
Where's that?
Enemy claimed Zone A. Zone C captured.
Do we not have it in our... We do not. Okay. Until we can actually get it pulled over, we're going to use this.
Enemy claimed Zone B.
Savathun's OnlyFans. I don't even know why I'm trying to even fight that. Yep. Definitely not going to play that one. Slide shot, opening shot.
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage.
Come on, come on. Oh, there we go. Beautiful. Beautiful. When did I get that?
Now make it rain.
Oh,
You're in the lead.
dangerous. You want to actually sit up and look? Are you looking at the colors?
Zone B
What?
lost.
Let me actually open up dim. Because for some reason it's not letting me pull my weapon. I knew it. I knew it. It's not going to be able to get that one off.
Zone B captured. You have zone advantage. Zone C lost.
Oh my god. I know. I'm trying to figure out what's going on too.
You captured Zone C. Zone advantage is yours.
Whoa.
Zone B lost.
There we go.
Zone A captured. Zone advantage is yours.
Boom. All right, let's try that now. Now we can try that. Ooh. I shouldn't have beat that one.
Only 5 minutes left.
He really tried to solo ult me. He really tried to solo ult me. That's crazy.
Zone C lost.
That's crazy. I know. Solo outing people. How dare you? Ah! I knew it. I knew I wasn't going to get it. Don't let him get the heavy. What? We're just out here just letting them get the heavy? Brother. We're about to lose hardcore.
You have zone advantage. 3 minutes left. You captured Zone B. That's a power play. You took them. Now hold them.
Not gonna end like you think it is. Don't do it. So I don't know about this role in particular.
Zone B lost.
Oh. I know. I know. Check. I don't think this role in particular is gonna no.
Zone C lost.
Oh my goodness. We're at least giving this one a try though. Before I actually like scrap it. I at least want to see.
1 minute left.
Oh.
down.
What? Brother, what?
30 seconds remaining.
This is why any GL without spike grenades is just, you might as well just toss it in the trash. Oh.
Don't let your enemy take this without a fight. Defeat comes for us all.
Okay, so that roll.
You've got to hold those zones.
So we at least gave it a try. We at least gave this roll a try. So that one won't be going any further. Oh, I could have just infused in that one. And then go ahead and put that one up. Yeah. Just because you spit it out, it's right here. Hold on, it's right there. There you go. All right, so because for some reason it's not, my light GG is not letting me pull my actual stuff. Let's actually take a look at the next weapon to actually give it a shot. Do I really? Let's try Cold Denial. And we're gonna go ahead and put on this. We'll do. Give it a shot to see if we'll actually keep it or not. This way, and it looks like since the pulse rifle gives a little bit more. All right. Let's see if it actually, see if it's good. What kind of heavy do we all want to use?
Control.
Oh, what am I doing with this? I have to make the carpets match the drapes. Hmm.
Show your enemy this place belongs to you now. Take the zone. Enemy claimed Zone C. Zone A captured.
Oh my goodness. I forgot this is a heavy pulse.
Enemy claimed Zone B. You captured Zone C. You have zone advantage.
What? Oh, it's a high impact. There's a Graviton Lance. He's gonna rush it. He's distracted.
Zone C
You okay,
lost.
buddy? So you can fill out.
Zone B captured. You have advantage.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. One of them left on their team.
That's a power play. You took them, now hold them.
Are they just not capturing? Oh no, they're fighting for their life.
Zone B lost.
Damn.
You captured Zone B. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone C lost.
Huh?
Your enemy can't kill if they're dead. Zone C captured. You have advantage. You captured Zone A. Power play. Keep the pressure on. Zone C lost. Double down.
Oh, gee.
Zone C captured. That's a power play. You took them, now hold them.
I think they're just barely under a mercy rule.
Zone A lost.
What? What?
That's a power play. You took them, now hold them. Zone B lost. I've seen enough. I'm calling this one. 5 minutes remain. A strong start. Fight on. I could not ask for a better victory.
Damn.
You fight like a demon for these zones. Bring me your friends. I need more like you.
It didn't do too bad. I'm sitting there shaking the mic. Oh, sweet boy. Alrighty. Because he is actually asleep, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the stream. All right, everybody. Thank you for being with me for these 2 streams back to back. It did a lot. Cleared out almost 100 spaces of the vault. We did the developer live stream. Hopefully, we can go into in depth about them more this week. I'll try to keep you guys updated on the streams and what's to come, because I know my work schedule will be starting to come back into the fold around the first. We'll see. I'll try to post it in the Discord, so if you're not in the Discord, go on to the Discord is actually on my page here on Twitch, as well as my YouTube. It's also there as well. So definitely go ahead and check that out, so that way when I go ahead and put the updates out there of what's going to come to the streaming platforms and basically the overall schedule, you can also be well informed. So thank you guys again for taking this time to be a part of me on this journey and being a part of this stream. Take care and be safe.